All right, so what's going on, y'all? Sorry about the wait. I'm heading to the airport to go pick up uh people. Um, so pretty much, I wanted to do a discussion on something. First off, this is not a shout out to anybody. I wanted to do a discussion about something that happened to my kid. So me and my kid are two heavy gamers. We game hard. We do pretty good. Um, my son, he does his stuff on his channel. I do mine, and I support him. But one of the things was somebody made a comment to him, comment, and they're making a comment towards him. It was about his racial content, and in saying that, uh, I heavily disagreed with what was said. You know, now you have it now where a lot of people are like, "Whoa, you can't get in your fifis or your feelings about that." Listen, you can accept whatever you want on you, and your child, or your people. You can accept that. I don't play that. I don't. Me and my family, we don't play that kind of games. Uh, and even though the person wanted to bring up the context of their race and say, and then what blew my mind was that you had it where other people were telling me or him that, hey, the person's black, so it's okay. And I had a problem with that, but I'm like, wait a second. So you mean to tell me because the person is black that it's not a problem. It's not that big of a deal. And I was like, yo, that's a even worse or huge problem. And they were like, no, he's black. And I'm like, so you're telling me that a black person can say racial slurs or make a certain type of comment towards another black person, and there's no problem with that. And I thought about it. I thought about the times that I've heard or had racial things said or done to me by my own people. Now, somebody said, wait, that's not possible for people of your own to do racial stuff or stuff to you. But I'm like, I said, well, let me help you make sense of it, right? If if somebody were to call a woman, if a woman calls another woman a bitch and says that she's empowering that word, right? How can she empower a word being called a bitch? If somebody else calls her that word, it demeans her. But I thought she empowered the word. But how did it demean her that quickly? If a queer person were to call one of their own a FAG word, but then turn around and somebody else called them that, can they still say, hey, that's fine, that's okay, that's cool? We try to hype up, and this is where it goes wrong. We try to hype up or try to um, lessen the blow of damage of accepting certain words or certain types of inappropriate behavior or culture and say that, hey, there's no problem with that because that person is like you. So them doing it to you, there shouldn't be a problem with that. And I'm like, actually, that's the opposite. And actually, you're doing a more severity of damage to them. You're actually doing a more severity of damage to them by actually spouting racial slurs, saying egregious stuff to them, calling them out their name. I don't know why black people think that that somehow by us saying the N word, we empowered or we somehow made it a powerful word. That hey, we took it and flipped it. Ice Cube, you sounded stupid when you said that. Under no circumstances can any of y'all don't have the power to empower a word. Nobody has that power. It's impossible. Because anybody else were to say to you, it's going to inflict harm or damage to you. So we know it's not true because certain other groups, they don't even like it when certain words are said on them. So when you try to say that, hey, it's okay, when you call each other nappy headed, or you say you ashy, or all these other kind of stuff that people say to each other, I always say that same energy will never be the same or never meet at the same point. Well, when I say nigga to each other, we don't actually mean any harm, but it does do harm. It does do damage. Why? Because, you know what I'm saying? Because you're making it a dull norm for when other people hear it, they look at it, well, they don't mind saying that word to each other. They don't mind calling each other that word. You use a word that you yourself disdain or discuss when other people call you that word. If a white person were to say that same thing that was said to my son, y'all would say, then I can have smoke. Then I can be racist. Then I can attack the racist. But then if a black person says it to my child, it's not racist. He didn't mean nothing by it. You should probably go, no, no. See, this is why I always say you got to understand the indoctrination of systematic behaviors that we doggone develop are actually appropriate with each other. This is why certain things are easy to happen amongst your ranks and there's no pushback. To be honest, I gotta be for real, man. Even for me, even being a black person, we do more racial stuff to each other, but then get offended. Well, no, we don't, white man. But see, but you continue to do it. You're not being forced to do it. You're not being told to do it. You choose to do it, and that makes it even worse. Why would you abuse or do something of harm to your own men, women, and children, but then get mad when another group does it to you? How does that make any sense? It don't. It will never work. It will never pan out. It will never uh, meet at a certain type of contingency of, hey, man, you know what? It's not that bad. Like, look at it now. Like, and I want you to understand this. You have it now, and I'm gonna have to do that conversation next. Whereas to black people are now having a segregated conversation about are they pookies or lames? And I'm like, wait, why would you even try to have that conversation when literally at the same end of the day, what makes you so much different from the other person? I know what y'all gonna say. Well, he got money, he's broke, she's this, she's that. Y'all gonna start picking each other apart. Like, I don't get the class system. Why do we do it? Though we are divided by class, but some of these things, these mechanisms, we can self repair ourselves. We can start fixing. I don't get online to show off clothes, name brand shoes, jewelry, and all that other stuff. That stuff is insignificantly meaningless in the grand scheme of things. Because at the end of the day, how does that benefit you? It's nice to have. I have a pocket full of cash, but I understand that like these issues that we're starting to develop and actually starting to normalize to try to make norm traumatic and abuse or traumas and abuse, they're getting worse. They're getting worse now to the point where a lot of people they're talking about, hey, I'm diverse, even though I don't know why. Like, I mean, I get why some people say that, hey, I don't want to deal with our people. We'll just say a certain type of people, a certain type of talking point coming from a certain group of people. When we start understanding that, it gets a lot more easier to actually delve into and actually start saying that, hey, man, it's not really us, it's that person. Those individuals right there. like I said, man, I'm just giving y'all a quick, talk. But I'll see you guys later. I probably will do the conversation later about that kind of talk point. I'm BMT. Peace.